In the last class, we have already seen about this stack, queue, and I have shown the programs also, and I have shown how it is working. So, we will going to see today what is a list compression and what is a nested list. So, let's see that. So, I am following this Python org, and the list compression is like how you can create a list from that list, okay, and how you can perform an operation on that. That is called a list compression. It's like performing a concise way of creating the list. We say the list compression means provide a concise way to create a list. It means that you create a new list from the existing list by doing some operation on that. Now here you can see this, here square is one list, and you are creating the operation on that, okay, for x in a range 10. Means here you are considering the element from 0 to 9, because range is 10, okay. So as I said you that Python take n minus 1 rule, okay. So here you will going to consider the value of this x from 0 to 9, and this square dot append, you will going to append to the list this every element to the power 2. Like suppose here you are considering 0 to 9, okay. So 0 to the power 2 will become 0 only, 1 to the power 2 will become 2 1 only, 2 to the power 2 will become 4, 3 to the power 2 will become 9, and in this way they will going to do operation on the same list. Am I clear? Now here this is square is one list, and for x in a range 10 means each element x is your temporary variable, and in this temporary variable x, that values will ranges from 0 to 9, and this you will going to do the operation. So you know square is what, an empty list, and append function what it will going to do, it will going to append whatever the output you will obtain from this to this empty list. So finally you will get this kind of list content, okay. The
Okay.
next thing, um, like here you can do the operation with the help of lambda also, okay. As I said you, instead of creating 2 3 line of code, you can do operation on the same list. So how you can do this, list map lambda x, this is a temporary variable, for every element x is to x into means x to the power 2 range 10. It means that you can practice this also. I'm just telling you like from this document itself, because right now the power issue, so I have to cover this content, so I'm just telling you. But in case you can also try it, you can run this on a collab, or you can try it like, let me run this.
What does map function do?
Yeah, map function will going to
What
map.
does map function do?
Yeah, this map function will going to map every element of this range 0 to 9 to this list. Mapping means they will going to perform an operation on the data. So because you might have not done much work on this map and all, so in this data engineering, or like in machine learning, map is a one function that will going to perform an operation on the set of data. So map means like from one form to another form. Just like you can think in the bucket you have a set of data, or you can just think like in the bucket you have a set of balls. You are taking the ball, you are doing painting on that ball or whatever it is, and putting in the same collection. So this map function, what you are doing with the help of this lambda function, it is taking each and every element, doing the operation, and putting on the same list. So that is the reason here map function we are using.
So it's basically same what we do in informatic or RDBMS when you
Correct,
map data from one table to another.
correct, good.
So it's
Like
basically copying it, but sometimes, if required, modification can be done.
yes, ma'am. Means it is like from the same place you are doing that. means you are on the same place and same location, you can say it, but you are just doing some operation on that. It is something like
Okay.
your when we purchase any house, the it will on the same location only, it will on the same land. You just renovate it time to time, suppose, or paint it. So you are doing some operation on it, but it will be on the same place, it will be on the same bucket, or you can
Same
say,
list.
yeah. So
Okay.
list only, it you are doing mapping. So there are a lot of
Okay.
operations are there: flat map, map operation. That respect to the cloud also we work on this function. But in this Python, this map function will going to do an operation on this x, which is a temporary variable, and this lambda is a keyword telling you that there is an anonymous function. You don't need to do any for loop, anything. You just have to call this lambda, and here x element you will going to perform this operation on which temporary variable x, and this x will be ranges in this range from 0 to 9. Like equivalently you
Okay.
can say it, you can do like this also: x is 2 for x in a range 10. Same thing you can do it. This is another way. This is with the help of lambda keyword. This is another way of doing that. In the list, this square bracket is actually used for defining in the list. Similarly, you can see it like a list compression consists of a bracket containing an expression followed by for clause or if condition, so that the result will be the new list that obtained from that will be on the same year itself. For example, here you have created this, okay, ma'am, and here what you're doing, x and y for x in 1 to 3, for y in 314, if x is not equal to y. So what it will going to do, it will going to check for 1 and 3. It will going to check if they both are not equal, they will come like this. And this square bracket means what? It's a list. Similarly, for x in a 1 2 3 means x in this set of element. Okay. So next element is what? X 1. It will going to check with 3. It's not equal. It has printed. Now it check 1 with 1 equal, so it won't come. Then the next element will be, you can say 1 4, it will come, right? Do you understand?
Hello. Yes. I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Were you
please.
able to check with Devanshu if we could learn more about class?
Yeah, I will do that about class and object. That will come, but this first I thought to cover this data structure, and then I will explain you about this class and objects.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
But you just see it. In case if you have any question, just ask me.
This is understood. Right now, I do not have any question.
Okay. Similarly, you can see 2 3, 2 1 2 4, then 3 1 3 4, right? So like this it's happen. So it is doing operation, and it will combine the element of two list on a single list. So this operation you can do it. This kind of operation is called list compression. Compression in the sense, you're trying to understand the list, and after doing the operation on that list, you are writing down into the same list or another list, like that. Similar thing, it is equivalent to this one. What operation we have did in this above, it is similar to here. So you can see it, which one is more easy. Obviously the first one. Here you are typing for x in 1 2 3 for y. For a beginner this can be look at as easy, but for an experience he can use this one. And it is easy because it is occupying only one line, so it is memory efficient, computing efficient, right? So this is called as a list expression. You will going to do operation on the list and save the result back on the list itself. So this is called as list expression. Similarly, there are few more example. like this is a vector kind of list that you have declared it, and you will going to perform an operation on the another list, x into 2 for x in a vec. What does it mean? X is your temporary variable, you are multiplying with 2 for x in a vec. Here x is what? All the element of this, like minus 4 into 2 for x in a vec. So what is x? For minus 4 into 2 minus 8, then minus 2 into 2 minus 4, 0 into 2 0, 2 into 2 4, 2 4 into 2 8, right? So what you are doing here, you are just reading one list, performing an operation on the another list, and printing it. So like this is called as a list compression. Now what do you mean by the nested leaf? So the list compression, it means that when you have a list inside another list, okay, just like a nested loop. So the list means you have an expression including the another list. For example, here you can see like row I for row in a matrix for I in a range 4 means the following list expression. This is one list followed by another operation on the same list. Do you
This
understand?
is little complicated. No, no. So, um,
Yeah.
a matrix, a list name matrix has been defined,
Yes.
and then in the second line, a new list named row I is to be created,
Hmm.
right? Which will draw data from the first list.
Hmm.
But what does it mean when it says for I in
Yes,
range
ma'am.
4?
It is going to take every row as a I. So when you write for I in a range 4, okay, what do you mean by this? For I in a range 4, it will take like 1 minute. Uh, yeah, so it will take every element, means range 4 means it will go till n minus 1. So for every, this is, you can see this is one list, okay, and it is another list. You can see this square bracket, two square bracket are coming. So it is saying what, row I for row in a matrix means every row of this matrix, okay, row is your temporary variable, every row of this matrix you need to print every row such a way that every element of the row should be in the range 4. Okay, it means that n minus 1, so that you have to print every row that should contain only 3 element. Okay, for
I see.
I,
Okay.
for I in a range 4 means
Hello?
yes, yeah. Do you understand that what I said?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it will what it will going to do, row I for row in a matrix for I in a range 4. So it will going to transpose the element. You can see transpose means 159, 2610, 3711, 4812, right? So transposing in the sense converting row into column and column into row. Hope you understand, ma'am, right? Matrix and all. If you remember your schooling time.
Yeah, yeah, I remember matrix.
Yeah. So here, this row I for row in a matrix means that every row of index, certain index like 0, 1, 2, right? For row in a matrix, for every row of this matrix, for I in a range 4 means each element of that matrix range 4 means you have to consider the 3 element. So when you consider the 3 element, so you can see you can't take it all the 3 element at once. So that will what it will going to do, it will going to take it in this way. Is it clear to you now?
Yes.
Okay. Similar thing you can do it here. Yeah, hi Tejas. Yeah. Similar thing you can do it now here. This is an empty list. In this list, for I in a range 4, transpose dot append means you are going to append this list Row I for row in a matrix. So row I for row in a matrix means every row of this matrix, so it will be like range 4 it is saying, so you will going to consider the 3 element. So same thing is there. The only difference is that here you are doing the same operation on the single, um, you can say single line. This is the set of a line. So here this list compression, this is called as a nested list compression, right? So nested list means what? Like you are inside the list, there is one more list and you are adding some more operation on that. Maybe either if condition or maybe either looping. That is called nested list. Sorry, nested list compression. And we have seen before list compression. So you can see it here, this one. You have a list and you are performing a list compression on the another list, not on the same list. That is called as a list compression. So difference, you remember it. Here you are performing an operation on the list, and with the help of another list you are doing some operation on that. This is one list, you are doing operation on another list, and just printing the result into the list. This is called list comprehension. And the another is one is nested comprehension. What do you mean by this nested comprehension? It means that you should have a list element and follow by some for loop or any condition on that. So you can see here you have a two square bracket. This is one for this one is a list, and the second and the second square bracket will going to do operation of transposing the element, that is will going to take 3 element. And this range 4 means the range of an element starting from 0 index to 3 index, as you know, like not 3 index, starting from 1 to 3, as you said, as I said you, that in the Python we follow n minus 1 rule. So because we have passed 4, it will going to take from 1 to 3 for every I in that range. So like this nested list compression works. There is one more way of solving the matrix, a zip function. Do you know like zip function what they do? Like zip function will going to print, it means it will going to zip the content of the matrix. Means zip the content in the sense, if you let me explore you with the example. Yeah, so this you can see this function, right? This zip function, right? It will what it operation they do it, like for every iteration the number of element they are that you are reading it. For example, in a single row, 4 element are there, it will going to aggregate all the element for each iteration and then print it. Do you understand what I said? Like you can see it from here, make an iterator that aggregate element from each of the iterable. Means iteration, repeating the task, just like we say for loop. So for loop suppose run 5 time. So for 5 time you are doing iteration. Okay. So this zip function, what they do, zip function, it works in such a way that each element it will going to collect it. Aggregate here is means combining the each element of the list on each iteration and print it to you. Like here, the example that we are seeing here, right? Zip star matrix. Matrix is what here? Your a variable you can say for each matrix. Okay, we have declare here. Yeah, see this. So zip function, when we do it, for how many iteration that you are performing on this matrix, it will going to take an element as a it, group you can say, or aggregate the element of each iteration. Okay, and print it on the screen. So here you can see, sorry, where it is. Yeah, this one. So that was you can see this list zip matrix. So it is printing each element they are taking in each iteration, because we have transposed it. So the transpose one is having each iteration the element is like this. So when you use this gif function, it will going to print like this. So same operation they do, but with the help of gif function, and you can use the list compression to do that. So like this there are different way of doing the operation. Do you understand, ma'am, what why we use zip function? Tejas, you understand?
Yes.
Please feel free to ask, like if you unable to understand or what.
Can you once again show that list comprehension part?
Yeah. So as I said you before joining, I explained the list compression. What do you mean by this list compression? List compression is another Python data structure, means an operation on the data structure where you read a element from the list and create a new list from the result obtained from that list. For example, here, what you're doing, suppose you have one list. That list will have a certain set of element. You are doing adding addition of uh, 2 on each element. So after adding, you will create a new list and save the element there. What I'm saying, let me explain you.
I
Suppose,
understand what does it mean. Can you just once show that part? Uh, like where it was written. One example was there, a bit down, I guess.
yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, which one?
That matrix one.
That was a nested comprehension.
Yeah, I wanted to understand that.
Yeah. So nested comprehension in the sense, when you do means operation on the two list, like here you can see this is the matrix. What you are doing here inside the list, you have created another square bracket, right? You can see it here. In this, what you are doing, row I for row in a matrix means you are considering the every row from this matrix. Okay. Row I in the sense like you have of three rows, right? So here, when you want to do the transpose of this list comprehension, how you are going to do that? In this first outer one is your list. Inside this you have another list, that is this one. And here you are reading each and every row of this matrix variable, and or you can say matrix 1. And once you done with the reading that, you find the for loop, a kind of iteration, which is saying that for I in a range 4. So as you know, like range 4 means what? Like, as you know, like range 4 means you will start from 1 till 3, right? You will going to start from 1 until n minus 1. So here it will, what it will going to do now, here you see we have a 4 element, so it can't print all the 4 element, right? So it will do the transpose, it will see the element, like how you can read each row in such a way that you should get a 3 element only. Okay. So that's the reason that it is doing the nested list compression, where first one is for reading each row from the matrices, and second for loop will going to print that. So it is saying for I in a range 4, that is n minus 1, that is in range 3, that is from 1 to 3, it will going to print 3 element in the form of list. So you can see inside this square bracket there is another multiple list are there, or you can say rows are there. Everyone is having 3 element, and it is the transpose of the matrix that we have read it. Okay. So here I think whether means in your syllabus matrix is there or not, but here matrix is like a two-dimension array, which is 3 cross 4.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understood how it works. I understood now.
Mhm. Any other question, Tejas, like
Yes, that where you had showed that zip function.
hmm,
Can you go there?
yeah, please, yeah, I'm going that. Yes, this one is that.
Yeah. In the parameter, it's written asterisk and then matrix. Why is it written like that?
Yes, this asterisk on matrix in the sense. Okay, let me show you the function. Yes, because you never knows like how many time this parameter will come. It's like if you remember in a.
So you are getting a keyword argument, like
Yeah, yeah,
a
correct.
lot of data also you can get, that's
Yes,
why.
yeah, correct. Because this iterable, you can't assure means it is one, two, three, four, how many iteration you have. So based on that, we are doing this star. So this every zip function we normally use it in Python, but the actual zip function that is defined by Python is this one. And this you can see it here, like you find out absolutely correct, like in keyword argument or argument when you want to pass set of like a parameter or a number of parameter. In that case you need to pass asterisk symbol. So that is the reason here
Understood.
we are passing this. Is it clear now?
Yeah, yeah, understood.
Okay, yeah. So this was the list and list compression, which is how to do the operation on that list. Okay. And I hope this tuple and all is it cover in that class tuple. I've already explained you tuple set, right?
Yes.
So, but in term of like files, I think I have share or not. I need to check once in the GitHub. But I need to show you some example on that set. Okay, just you can see it here. As I said, you set is also one data structure. But what is the difference in with set and other data structure is that set is unordered. Okay, they do not follow any order. And the second thing, they do not allow duplicate element. This thing you should remember it. And in the set you can like do various operation, like you can union, you can combine two set, you can find out the intersection of two set, find out a difference, symmetric difference, like that you can find it out. So if you want to use such collection where you want element should not be repeated and element should not follow any order, then you can use this. So set is that kind of data structure. We have seen tuple and we have seen the list. They are like follow the sequence, and they allow the duplicate element also. Okay, but set do not allow that. If you see this example, like you can see here, I am taking set. Inside this set I am taking this value. Okay, and b is another one set. I'm taking this value, and when I print it, it is printing a r b c d. Can you see this repeated a in this? Similarly, when you try to print b also, it will going to not print the repeated element. And that is the unique thing, or that the good thing about this set data structure. This set data structure is used in scenario where there is should be no repetition. uh, are you aware about it?
Yes.
Okay, great. And are you aware about the operation that we do it on the set?
I don't know everything, but I know some things. I've learned a bit of sets.
Okay, yeah. So now suppose if I say you have a two set. Okay, suppose this a and b, and if I say you do a minus b, means output you will get it when you do a minus b. See, a minus b when you do it, it will give you the letter that are in present in a but not in a b. Okay, okay, let me check collab. Actually power is not there, so like this collab is all is not opening. Let me check. It's taking time. If it is open I can show it to you. So anyway, let it open. Yeah, I think it's opening. So here you can see it a minus b when you are doing. When you print A, how much you are getting? All the unique element A, R, B, C, D. Similarly, when you do for B, you will get A, L, C, Z, M. So let me write down here. If you do it for B, you will get it like this. And remember that while printing this like set, while reading it, you will take a parenthesis, but while printing it, it will print in a curly braces. Okay. So like suppose B, when you print it, it will give you like this: A, L, C, Z, and M. A is repeating, so we will not going to take more than one way. Sorry. Okay, we will not going to take in a more than one way. Now if I say you do A minus B, so A minus B means what are the element of A that are not present in a B? R, D, and B. You can see R, D, B are present? No, right? So A minus B, when you do it, A minus B means you have to print it like that. What are the elements that are present in A that are not matching with a B? Similarly, if I say you do opposite, B minus A. So B minus A means what? What are the element of B that are not present in A? So can you see L? L is not present. So you're going to do C is not, C is present. So you can take it. L, Z, M. Okay. When you do this B minus A, okay, what operation means what are the output you will get? The element of B that are not matching with A. Okay, or you can say element of B that are not present in A. So what are not present in A? Your L, your Z, and your M. Okay, this is the output of this. Now if I say you this pipe operator, this is pipe operator for OR. So it will going to combine the element of both that are present in both A and B. So you can write down ALCZM, then RBD, means letter in A and B or both. It means that OR operator will going to print the element which are present in either of these two or in both. Okay. Similarly, when you do AND operation, it means that it's intersection. You can think it like an intersection. You know about intersection, union, intersection.
Yeah.
Okay. Tejas.
Yes, I think it is for joining two sets and all.
No, no. Yeah, correct in that way. But intersection means finding out the common element between two. Or you can say this AND operation also like that. Means which is common on both. Or this union means when you want to combine it. So you can think it this OR operator will be act as a union. Okay. Union means combining the element of both the set. Okay. And AND operator you can think it as a working as a intersection, which mean that common element of both the set will be printed. Now here in this A and B, which is a common? Your C and A. So you're going to print this. Now the next is your symmetric difference. What do you mean by symmetric difference? Symmetric difference in the sense the element which are present in your A or B but should not be present in a both. What do you understand from this? The element which are present in A or either in the B but not present in a both. So how you can do it? You just remove the common element A and C which is present in a both. If you remove from this, you will get this. Do you understand this last operation symmetric difference? Ma'am, do you understand this?
Yes.
Just have a look on this once and just try to understand and let's ask me the question if you do not understand. I hope it is clear to you. Similarly, we have a list comprehension also. Okay, I'm rubbing this. Just like a list comprehension, we have a set comprehension also. It means that you are reading the set and writing the another set. Like here, x for x in a, this is a string, you are reading it. Okay, means this x is your temporary variable. X for x in this means for every x, that is a b r c a, every element of this string, if x is not in abc, it is saying that for x in this string, if x should not be present in abc, इसका मतलब like whatever you are reading from this string, okay, you have to print such character which is not come in this string abc. So you can see most of them are abc only. So what are the element that are not matching here? This r and d, because other are like abc, right? So it is just saying just like x for x means x is a temporary variable for x in this string, if x is not in abc, or you can write if x not equal to abc also, you can say it like that. So this is called as a set comprehension, and similarly you can do further operation also. Am I clear to you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So this is just like a list comprehension. What do you mean by list? And zip function, we have seen that. Similarly, if you want, you can practice it on your system and like let me know if you stuck somewhere. uh, I have given you the concept like from one list how you can create another list, that is called list comprehension. And when you combinedly work on more than one list on the same list, means suppose here if inside the square bracket, if you have another square bracket and you are doing some operation on it, log for example for I in a range something 4, that is called a nested list. Nested list comprehension means inside the list you are going to perform operation on this list element, whatever it is. Suppose maybe let's take example 1 2 3, and you're doing some operation on that. Based on this, whatever output you will get, you will going to write down inside this, you will going to replace this, and you will going to write down inside that. That is called as nested. So where we have a more than a square bracket, or you can say a square bracket inside another square bracket. List is usually represented by square bracket. So you can write, you can say like this also, or let me say like list inside another list and doing operation on that. So this is called as nested comprehension. Comprehension means you're trying to understand the content of the list. You're after of performing an operation, you're trying to understand what actually the list is. Okay. Now I will going to show you one code. Linked list I have explained you. If you remember, I explained you how this linked list work. Do you remember, ma'am? I think Tejas he remember. He attended a last class. Do you know like list linked list? Am I audible?
Yes,
Am
you are.
Do you know about the linked list? How it works?
Honestly, I don't remember. But
Okay.
if you have explained this to me earlier, I'll go through the video. You don't have to explain it again to me.
Okay. Yeah. So the list is like this. Okay. Okay. Let me come. See, normally what actually happens? Suppose actually this is your RAM. So inside your memory, datas are saved randomly. Okay. Datas nowadays, we are not following the sequential data, sequential memory more. The reason is that if you use sequential memory, there is some problems are coming in that sequential memory. What was that problems? Suppose you have a declare an array of size 10. You want to save 15 element. It won't be able to save those 15 element. Why? Because the array is having size 10, right? Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you
Yes.
getting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Array is of size 10 and you want to save a more element on that. Okay. Suppose you have declare array and that is having a size 10, but you want to save a more element than 10, like suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, or like 1, 2, 3, like that. So it will give an error because data are saved in a sequence. So what the people they taught, the inventor or like that, they taught, instead of saving in a sequence, why not we save in a random space? And once we save in a random space, with the help of linked list we can approach it. For example, now here your data, okay, your data is in the form of node. They will going to be saved in a memory. Memory in the sense what? RAM. So suppose this is your 1, okay, this is your suppose 5, okay, this is your 2, this is your suppose 3, like that. And that is the reason nowadays, if you have done work, uh, we have to do time to time, we need to remove temporary memory or disk cleanup, disk defragmenter. This operation we do it, if you remember, I don't know, disk cleanup and all, we need to do it. Why do we do this? Because data is saved in a random, and if you do disk cleanup and all, they what they will do, they combine all the memory on a single space, and after combining this, whatever random space that is left, they will create an empty space from that. What do you mean by this? Suppose this 4 node datas are there, okay, when you go for disk cleanup and all, there is an in window 10 and all, I need to check once, but in window 8 and all, yeah, you can see. Can you see the screen, disk cleanup and all? So this disk cleanup, they will ask you the option, right? Delete temporary file. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
या सो ये हम लोग क्यों करते हैं, देख यू इसमें, लाइक यू कैन सी इट हियर, यू कैन यूज दिस क्लीन अप टू फ्री अप 18.8 GB of disk space, and recycle bin or temporary internet files or some temporary files are there. Why do we do this? So that जो भी एक random space जो create होता है, right, after doing the disk cleanup, okay, I can give you the scenario. Once you do the disk cleanup after few interval of time, how your memory will look like. Suppose you have this 4 data. Next time after doing the disk cleanup, okay, disk cleanup, your memory will be like this. And suppose you have a data like this 1, you have a data like this 2, and you have a data like this 3, and you have a data like this 4. So like from this you might have got an idea. Once you do the disk cleanup, they will arrange all the data together, and whatever this is, this this space you are getting, right, this space, this empty space will collect together to form this whole sequence of space. Now you can see this, you are getting this large amount of space now, and that is the reason we do disk cleanup. And what is the reason of this random memory? Because random memory is more effective as compared to sequence one. In sequence one, if you want to save a data, if you want to delete a data, it will take more time. But in linked list, what do you mean by linked list? In linked list, data are saved in the form of node. That this is called as a node, this square bracket is called as a node. And each node, what do you mean by this? Each node is divided into two part. Okay, your node having a structure like this. This part is called your data. This part you can call as a pointer. Pointer you can say, or like better you can say address of next element or next item. So now each data, like suppose 1, after 1 what is coming? 2, right? So this node will going to hold the address of this node, this address, this part after 2 whatever data is coming will going to hold the address of this. Means when you're when you run the program, your compiler, your processor will, while running the program, they will get the data by approaching based on the address. They will get the 1 2 3 4. After 3 suppose 5 is there, so this address will going to point to this node. So it might be looking cumbersome to you, or like might be looking complex to you, but it's very effective. Here this compiler or in the processor inside the memory, while processing your code, they are approaching each data based on the address. And that is the reason that it never it's very less, or you can say there is a very less chance of memory failure, because based on the address it can find out the data very quickly within millisecond or even less than that. Each node can approach or can tell the address of another node. So remember, linked list means what? Linked list is saving the data in the form of node, where each node divided into two part. First part will holding the address like this. Oh, suppose it is holding 2, and this is holding the address of the next node. Just like in a housing board colony or in society, each house is having number, right? A block, B block, C block. So if you reach to the house number 101, then you know that after 101 102 will come. So obviously you will see for a nearby sequence only, right? So approaching based on the address, so like this linked list work. And when we do disk cleanup, and there is one more, disk defragmenter, disk defragmenter. When you do this too, then what they will do, whatever the empty space that is left, they will combine all the empty space together, and they will create a single empty space. Now you only think that this is space, that space that you are getting here, the space that you got it here. So which one is you have a greater when you do the memory calculation? This distributed space you have greater, or when you combine it and collected it in a pool, that will be greater. I assure you, like when you do it operation, or when you find it out by doing operation, obviously the collected pool means combining the several small space together will be larger, and this space you can use it to save further data. And that is the reason that we use linked list. Linked list is more effective and widely used data structure. You can implement your stack, your queue in the form of linked list. So the datas are saved in a sequence. It is, let me show you the linked list image. Tejas, I think you already know, right?
Yes, I know.
You can see this April, this, or this is a name, and they are holding the address of another element, and like this. Now the last element will hold the address null. Why it will hold the address null? Because after this there is nothing this there, so it will hold address null. And address is what? Address in the form of hexadecimal value. It is a hexadecimal value that will represent that after this node, the next node this will come. So based on the address you can fastly reference it. You can see this x symbol. This x is nothing but the you can say null, that representing that after this there is no element. and you can see other one is having some address. We can't see the address because this is a pictorial representation, but obviously in the memory they assign some address. Based on that you can refer it. So this is a single list. What about double linked list? In double linked list you can refer in a two way, means you can go from left to right. Similarly you can back in a forward direction also, just like in a list. In a list the index start from 0 to till the end, and while when you want to move in a reverse direction we start from -1, right? So in the doubly linked list you can refer it in a two way, and in doubly linked list you should have a, sorry, in doubly linked list you will have a two pointer side. One, this one is will going to represent the next one, and your left hand side will represent the previous one. Do you understand this? I repeat once again, your right hand side will going to represent the address of next element, and your left hand side will represent the element of a, will represent the address of a previous element. Now here this one will represent 10, and this one, this arrow will represent 20. Now circular linked list. Circular linked list will be the single only, but the thing is that after 20 the pointer will be pointing to the first element. So it will be keep on in a rotating way, means it will save element like 5, 10, 50, 20. It will remove the element, then start adding a data again like 25, 30, 35, 40. Then it will remove the element, again it will start adding a data like 40, 45, 50, 55, or like 1, 2, 3, or you can say even ABCD also. Any data you can save it here. Is it clear to you?
Yes, it's clear.
If you have still any question, anything, you can ask.
I have one doubt, sir.
Hmm.
Uh, so you told about linked list. So suppose I make a list which follows the linked list part, and so is it possible, like you said, the other part of a node contains the address of the next node.
Hmm.
So is it possible to get that hexadecimal address?
Yeah, we can get it hexadecimal address.
So is there
Uh,
like a what
have
is the
you have
code
you
for
done
that?
have you done work on C language?
No, I haven't,
Okay. In
but I will do that as
yes. So in C language there is a concept called a pointer. When you print that, okay, let me show you. Okay. I don't have right now anything open, so I'm just showing you in the form of image only. It is in the form of hexadecimal address. In the form of image. Let me check if there is any image that's showing. Yeah, you can see this. You can see this temp 2024. 2024 is pointing to this one. 3024 is pointing to this one, and this address will vary. Okay, like based on your data type. Now suppose your integer data type, integer occupy 4 byte. Okay, so like this after 2024, how many what will be the next address, how many gap will be there of around 4 byte, means 2024 maybe it will come suppose